Welcome to our last episode of Coffee with the Seniors. I was joking with Jeff a little bit earlier. It's a little late in the day, so I've turned into water instead of coffee. But we have a lot to celebrate today. Not only is it our last three speakers for our seniors and celebrating our seniors, but we are also first day back in the water. So, and thank you to all of our swimmers that are on here that came this morning. You followed the procedures. We did a pretty good job. For everybody, I just want to remind you, this needs to just get better from here. It can't be something that we made it through and we can relax as we go forward. It has to be something that we get better at just being efficient, run through the procedures like it's nothing, like we're just ready to go and we can be in the water and take full advantage of the water time that we do have. Because anything outside of the procedure that it takes time, it takes away from water time in the end. So other than that, though, it was a very good first run. I was very happy with what we saw. And I think we're creating a safe environment to get back in the water, which is the whole point of everything. So thank you all for listening to that and following those procedures this morning. But now we're here to listen to our seniors, and I'm excited to hear these last three and just to hear their stories again. This is my favorite part of the year. This time it gets to be spread out weekend to weekend throughout June. So this has been kind of fun. First up, we will have Kimmy Park. Kimmy is a sprint freestyler in the national group. Going to be a road runner in the fall, attending Cal State Bakersfield. She's going to take her speed, and I think that mascot is a perfect one for her in terms of being a sprint freestyler. So first up for us is Kimmy Park.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Park. I've been on this team for about 3 years, and this is my 5th swim team that I've been on. Moving to this team has been the best decision. On my first day here, I trained with Jeff Klotz. I was very nervous, but I didn't know what to expect. I pushed myself to new limits by working hard at practice every day. He saw potential in me, and so I decided to take his advice and move up to nationals to train with Jeff Julian. At this point, I was beyond nervous because in my head, I was literally like, oh my God, I'm going to train with one of the best coaches in California. After a few months, I was very shy because I wasn't used to being in such a large team. I found my way and started to open up to everyone. In nationals, I've learned many things like taking in leadership and never giving up. I'd like to thank my teammates. You guys helped me so much and shaped me into a better person than I was before. Thank you for spreading positive vibes every day at practice and at swim meets. First off, I'd like to thank all the coaches for helping me and to this team. And to Hector, I'm still very sorry about splashing you with my flip turns at my first inter squad meet. To Jeff and Christine, thank you for being hard on me and pushing me to where I am today. Sorry, I'm like trying not to cry right now. You guys helped me grow a better mindset. To Jeff Klotz, thank you for helping me with a lot of personal things. To Caitlin, I know you haven't been with us for a very long time, but you kept me motivated. Thank you for being the best team out there. I will miss everyone. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kimmy. We don't have all of our coaches together, so we don't get the cheers anymore. That was fun last week. We got some cheers. But thank you. That was wonderful. I appreciate you sharing your experiences and your gratitudes with us. Next up, we will turn to Chris Bruce, a freestyle and butterflyer in the national group. Chris will be attending Emory University in the fall. So with that, Chris.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christopher Bruce, and I'm excited to share my experiences with you. Something like 8 or 9 years ago, my parents made a decision that would help them mold me into the person I am today. So first off, I would like to thank the people who deserve my thanks the most, and the ones who are most eager to hear it. Mom and Dad, you made everything possible for me, and I truly mean everything. You signed me up to be part of this team. You told me I couldn't quit when I thought swimming was just getting into a cold pool for an hour. You woke up at 4 a.m. to take me to morning practice, even after I got my driver's license. You spent entire weekends at swim meets just to watch me race for a few minutes. And finally, you never pressured me to be more than I was. You let swimming belong to me, and not you, despite all the work you put into it. Coach Christine. When I joined 11-12 Gold, Coach Christine gave me my first taste of what swim training was really like. Early, I decided that it was not for me. I would cheat my way through sets by pulling on the lane line, kicking when using a buoy, and if there was any other way to make a set easier, I would find it. One set I remember cheating my way through was a challenge set. It was hundreds on descending intervals, and when you missed an interval, you were done. I missed an interval early, so I wouldn't have to do any more, and I remember thinking I was a genius for tricking Coach Christine, but she definitely wasn't tricked. I also remember watching my teammates actually do the set. Everyone else was working so hard, and I couldn't understand why. As the time passed, I made minimal improvement. Coach Christine showed me the power of working hard, but it wasn't something I realized until much later. To Coach Hector. When I was 13, I decided I would only do one sport, either swim or tennis. And I chose swim because of my experience with Coach Hector in the 13-14 Gold. When I joined, it was my first experience aging up. I had never been in a group with any of the other swimmers, and I was unsure if this is where I belonged. On my first day with the group, we did a set of hundreds off the block. During the set, my new teammates cheered everyone on, even me, despite them just meeting me. After the set, I was surprised at how well I did, but Coach Hector wasn't. He expected it. His confidence in me and seeing my teammates' energy erased any doubts I had. I definitely belonged here. Coach Jeff Klotz. You taught me so much that it would take too long to talk about. But there is something I want to single out because I feel like it has influenced me the most. You taught me the importance of team. I used to swim without a cap, not at practice or meets, and I never had a good reason for not wearing one. After some race, I remember looking up into the gutter to catch my breath, and then a Rose Bowl cap hit me in the face. I looked up and saw Coach Jeff glaring at me. He said he expected me to wear the cap for the rest of my races and walked off without another word. For a while, I was confused. Why did he need me to wear a cap? He wasn't even my coach at the time, and I didn't mind going a little slower in my races. Much later, when I got him as a coach, I realized he didn't tell me to put on the cap so I could go faster. He gave me the cap because I needed to represent the team. It had never occurred to me that swimming was a team sport. All I really thought about was having fun and working hard for myself. That mindset began to slowly change when I got Jeff as a coach. One day, he asked us to picture our ideal teammate and how we could be one for our teammates. And that idea stuck with me. I've struggled to find a perfect fit, but one of my several answers to the question would be the Rose Bowl coaches. They all put the team above everything else. They deeply care about their swimmers and want to see them all succeed. At meets, I find I do my best when I ignore my own races until the long whistle calls me up onto the block. Instead of focusing on myself, I would rather watch my teammates race, cheer them on until I've lost my voice, and run back and forth, dancing along the pool deck so I can see them smile and laugh during a mile. To Coach Cam. It's odd to think that you were one of my first coaches because I don't really remember my drills for skill days. I just have one specific memory. Near the end of practice, you told us that you wouldn't be our coach anymore. You said you were going to coach the older kids, the 15 and ups. And I remember that being so far away. I remember being disappointed, but you told us that if we kept at it, maybe one day you would be our coach again. And then 8 or so years later, I got you as a coach. I enjoyed your group so much that when I was asked to move up to Senior 2, I was hesitant. But you told me to take the chance. In your group, you helped me continue to improve and grow more confident in my swimming. Coach Jeff Julian and Coach Caitlin. I couldn't have asked for a better opportunity during my last year with the team. Coach Jeff, Julian, and Coach Caitlin made my time with the national group unforgettable. The group was full of amazing swimmers who I thought I never had the opportunity to train with. And although I was challenged more than I've ever been this year, the group environment did nothing but keep me motivated throughout the year. I also want to thank everyone I did not specifically mention: parents, staff, officials, and the coaches I never had. I greatly appreciate all the time and effort anyone has ever given to the Rose Bowl. And finally, I want to thank my teammates. You helped a shy, quiet boy find a second home in a swimming pool. You've seen me at my best and worst, You've laughed with me. You've laughed at me. You motivate me when I can't motivate myself. You are the reason I came to practice every day, and I'm glad to have grown up with all of you. Thank you, and go Rose Bowl.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Chris. That was incredible. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, I got tearing up as well. I love hearing the talk about the teammates and everything like that. It's really special to listen to. So thank you for sharing that for us and with us. All right, one more for today. Our last senior of the year, finishing up for us is a long time Rose Bowl swimmer. Danny Syrkin, butterflyer and freestyler in the national group for, again, a very long time in the national group itself. Headed just down the road, down the 110, in fact, to USC in the fall to become a Trojan, just like his parents before him. So next up, and excited to hear it, Danny Syrkin.
Okay, just before I get going, you can hear me all right? I had to adjust my mic settings.
You are good.
Sweet. All right. Showtime then. Hello, everybody. My name is Danny Syrkin, and I've been on the Rose Bowl for about 10 years now. As far back as I can remember, this team has held a very special place in my heart. When I first started swimming here, it was initially very daunting to me. The new surroundings and number of faces that I didn't know was very intimidating, especially those from the senior groups. Despite this, I quickly realized that the Rose Bowl was not at all a scary place, but one big family. With many new friends, I began my journey into the sport of swimming. My very first coach was James Gallagher, back when groups were split into colors such as red and black. With Coach James laying the groundwork for my technique and instilling a love for the sport within me, I began to take off, dropping massive amounts of times when I could get the chance to race. James, thank you so much for setting the foundation of my success in this sport. I soon found myself moving up groups both in age and speed, and my swimming continued to progress from there. Fueled by my love of the sport, my teammates and coaches pushing me on, I improved to a point in which I made a decision that would change my life to where it is today. And that would be quitting all other sports and focusing solely on swimming. Up until this point, I had been playing soccer, basketball, and tennis in addition to swimming. While I certainly loved those other sports, swimming stood above the rest for this one simple reason. I thoroughly enjoyed the sport more. However, it wasn't just the sport of swimming, but rather the community surrounding it. By this point, I had a solid feeling of how tight-knit the Rose Bowl family really was. It wasn't something that I could turn my back on. Only at a place like Rose Bowl are people so willing to help each other and help the team. People such as Julio Cienega, Jay Chosich, Katie Carey, and Leah McCrary, who have dedicated an innumerable amount of hours to ensure the team runs smoothly. I made my choice and didn't look back from there. From then on, my swimming exploded as I proceeded to form more bonds with the coaches and swimmers around me. The Rose Bowl was really a place where a 12-year-old me could truly relax and be myself. I would often talk with the coaches on the deck, much to the discontent of my parents, about swimming at great lengths, which is one of the primary reasons why I'm widely labeled as a bona fide swim nerd. To Coach Hector and Coach Cameron, thank you for always being there to nerd out with me about the sport we all love. I may have not always vocalized it, but your support and the relationships we've formed up until now are immensely special to me. To Jeff Klotz, you are downright one of my favorite people to have a conversation with. There is never a dull moment with you, and despite the fact that you've never actually been my coach, you've left a lasting impact on my life. Thank you. To Coach Caitlin and Muscle Mike, while I haven't known both of you as much as the others, the time I've spent with both of you as coaches and mentors is something I deeply treasure. Caitlin, you are an amazing coach in person. You were always there to hear out my issues when I needed to vent and supported me when I was down. Muscle Mike, Thank you for both our extensive conversations about writing and philosophy, as well as your emotional support through my latter years of high school. You can bet I'll be back to beat your 500-meter rowing record and do a couple Murphs. Upon turning 13, I moved up to the national group and have been coached by either Jeff or Christine ever since. It was in these past 6 years in which I went from an immature kid carefree to the rigors of life to a young adult geared with the lessons and tools needed to succeed. That being said, having been in the national group for 6 years, I've seen the group's culture shift from when I was still in middle school up until now, post-high school graduation. In the beginning of my time in the group, there were swimmers such as Kirsten Vos or Mickey Mowry, people who I'd looked up to as a young swimmer on the team. Time passed, and the group took another shift when Trenton Julian and Tenny Chong led the group as captains. It continued to change as my childhood friends and I, Mark, James, Andre, Will, and Eddie, reached the pinnacle of the team. And finally, at the present day, the culture still continues to shift. With me on my way out and the future of the team in good hands. Nevertheless, there is one aspect that hasn't changed, and that is the overwhelming sense of team. No matter what so-called era the team may have been in, the strong bonds holding everyone together were palpable. We were really one big family. Whether they still have 3 more years of high school to go or have already graduated from college, each and every person I've been with in the national group has left a lasting imprint on my life. It's because of all these people that have supported me through these past 6 years that I stand where I am today. However, the 2 people who truly held the group together during all these years are without a doubt Jeff and Christine. And both of them have been my 2 coaches that I've had in these past 6 years. Both of them have seen me at my best, my worst, and everything in between. They have been there for me when I stumbled and lost my way, pushed me when I needed to be pushed, and were as excited for me as I was in times of triumph. I truly can't put it into words how grateful I am to have both of you in my life. After spending so many hours at the pool, a large part of who I am today can be attributed to your continued support. You taught me tough life lessons that were not always easy to accept, such as dealing with setbacks, managing emotions, the importance of hard work, attention to details, and not getting caught up in results or expectations. There is not much else I can say but thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for me these past 6 years. Through all the highs and lows, the struggles and breakthroughs, the losses and victories. Thank you for supporting me through the endless endeavors of life. Thank you for molding me into the person I am today. The impact you've both had on my life is absolutely monumental, and there aren't 2 people I'd be prouder to call my coaches for the past 6 years. And finally, to those I owe the entire world to, my family. Mommy, Papi, Alex, Boo-Boo, Babushka Ala, Giayana, and everybody else. I love you more than words can describe. I'm truly blessed to have a family that has shown me such unending and infinite support through all that I do, ranging from athletics, academics, social life, and beyond. Giayana, thank you for being my biggest fan and cheering me on through my life so far. It makes me so happy when you get excited over even the smallest triumph. Babushka Ala and Boo-Boo, you 2 never cease to give me 110% of your support. Boo-Boo, whether you're running up and down the pool deck going, vai, 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 yeah, which is go in Portuguese, or yelling vai through the phone while you're in Brazil, I always feel your encouragement in my heart and mind. You have been there for me even despite not physically being here in America all the time, and I can't thank you enough. Babushka Ala, although not really being too heavily immersed into the sport of swimming, you always came to long prelim final swim meets just to cheer me on for a couple minutes. It didn't matter if I won, I lost, or anywhere in between. You were happy for me regardless of the outcome. Thank you for supporting me through my entire life's journey so far. To both of you, I couldn't ask for a better pair of grandma. I love you both so much. Alex, my best friend. You are quite literally the best sister I could ever ask for. Ever since we were little, you were constantly at my side to back me in all that I did, and still are to this very day. Even if you weren't doing the best, you would still show me endless support in all my accomplishments, suppressing your own negative emotions to do so. You were there for me in my darkest moments and in times when I needed a shoulder to cry on. You were there to keep me accountable in the pool and in training. You were there to get better grades than me and be consistently one joke ahead. I feel so fortunate to have you at my side as well as watch you grow in life. Through all the hardships and victories, you've become such an amazing person, and I can't wait to see what the future has in store for you. Thank you for making me the proudest older brother out there. I love you, and I'll miss you so much. And here is where we go off script to speak from the heart to the two most cherished people in my entire life, Mom and Dad. I love you both so much. You've both done so much for me that I can't even put it into words. You've supported me through everything that I've done, sacrificing so many hours and so much time to help me reach my goals and achieve what I want to achieve. Whether it was driving me to 5 a.m. practices for years on end, or sacrificing your own time at work to go watch me at every single swim meet. There's literally no way I could stand here today and be talking without all that you have done for me. Mom and Dad, Mommy and Papi, I love you both so much. So much so that I can't even find the right words to say right now. I hope that I can continue to make you proud in the future as I embark on this next chapter of life, and I'll miss you so, so much. So as I head on my way out here, I want to remind those of you who will still be on the team to cherish your time and make the memories last, because at the end of the day, those are what will stick with you for a lifetime. Thank you, Rose Bowl.
Awesome. Thank you, Danny. That was incredible. Thank you for sharing all of your journey through. And I love the messages that you gave. And I'll share one with everybody. And it's really a compliment to all of our seniors. I love the message of kind of the growth of the national group culture, but I'll put it over the entire team and not just the national group. This team continues to grow. Not because of the leadership. The leadership is a big piece of all of our coaches and everything that our entire staff does. But it grows because the team decides it wants to grow. And it grows because the leadership of our seniors, and as people move through this program, they decide they want to leave it better than they found it. And I think that's the biggest compliment that you can give somebody in relating to a team. And I pay the highest respects to our senior class for leaving this team better than they found it, and giving back to the team culture and giving back to not just the national group, but that's the senior growth group or senior foundation or wherever we've swum. Our seniors have done a good job of leaving it better than we found it. And I think that's a thing to be proud of for all of our seniors, and it's a thing to shoot for all of our swimmers otherwise. It's not an easy thing to continue to grow and improve cultures and environments, but that's what we've been able to do so far, and it's what our swimmers and family have done so far, and that's the goal as we continue to move forward. So thank you to all of our seniors today. Thank you all, Kimmy, Chris, and Danny. Thank you all for sharing your stories. They were incredible, and I am touched by all of them, as I'm sure everybody is just listening to those. Before we go, we do want to have just kind of a more conversation. There's some questions that have been somewhat common throughout, and then anybody else who has questions can throw them in the chat as well. Getting back in the water, but with everything that's going on and somewhat the unknown, do you guys know what's going on in the fall when you go back to school? Are you going back to school? One, is it online? Is it a hybrid, or do you even know yet?
So for USC, as of right now, we are slated to move into the dorms. However, I've just heard news that a lot of the larger classes will be held online. As for swimming and sports, it should be all right, I think. There will be probably some modifications made, but as of right now,
Good.
it should be a go.
All right, good. Some of the bigger lecture types will go online. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Chris, I know Kimmy had some technical difficulties. I don't know if she's back up, but Chris, do you have any information?
I'm back.
He's back.
So in August, I'll be at Emory, hopefully, in the dorms. So some classes will be online and some will not. I guess it just depends on how large the class is.
A hybrid type, yeah.
Yeah.
Avoiding the big lectures, it makes sense to go online personally. Yeah, that's cool. Kimmy, you have any news?
For Bakersfield, most classes will be online, but some labs will be in person. And for swim, we're deciding to do the same thing as Rose Bowl.
Okay, cool. So are they starting back now? The team, is there a part of the team that's there now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
People from LA have to quarantine for 14 days. So I'm leaving early August and I would have to stay in my dorm for 14 days and then I can start practicing. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that some other places. I didn't realize different cities or areas were doing that. Cool. You know what, I do still want to talk about it a little bit. I know we're getting out of things, but I've been really impressed, on all three of you in the national group, so I've seen it. I've been really impressed with how everybody has handled quarantine and handled a situation that's just hard, right? But as seniors and having to go through things that you missed some things or severely adjusted things, to say the least, how did you guys handle it most? I mean, or best, I should say. But you guys did an amazing job. You should know that up front. But how did you get through this, and how did you keep a positive mindset as you got through it?
So for me, when school and swimming initially got suspended, of course it was a big blow, and it kind of forced me to do a little bit of introspection on my time in high school and my time with Rose Bowl up until that point, and also the future. And upon thinking about it, I found that yes, it's disappointing, but I shouldn't let myself be disappointed because that would take away from all the good memories that I've had. So although apart, the support from everybody and the bonds that I've made with people really kept me going through this time. So yeah.
Awesome. So that team bonding still brought you on through. Awesome. Chris or Kimmy?
So I was really looking forward to the high school season because I thought that we were gonna, I don't know, put up a bunch of team records and the like. And then when they canceled CIF and this whole thing happened, I was bummed. But the way I got around it was by realizing that it's not really the times or the times or the race that you're going to remember. It's the experiences. And I've already been to 2 CIFs, so that's good enough for me.
Awesome. I love it. Kimmy?
Same thing with what Chris said. I was bummed about CIF because our team was trying to win CIF again, but it got canceled because of Corona. I was also bummed out that I couldn't finish my senior year with my friends and have a real graduation. So.
All right. Anyway, you got through it?
I mostly just try to do Zoom calls with my friends and family to try to keep me positive, which helped a lot. So yeah.
Good. Awesome. Yeah, no, I think those are great And please don't get me wrong. It was hard. You are going to struggle at times. It wasn't the point that you guys were all perfect and never struggled. It was how you got back up. It's not a matter of struggling ever in life. It's a matter of just getting back up and making sure that we get back on top of things. And all of you have really done a great job with that. All right, let's move off of that a little bit and just have some fun. College is an exciting time. What were you most excited about heading into your college new experience?
I guess sort of a double-edged blade when I say autonomy, because on the one part, it's really cool that you get to be independent and make your own decisions, but on the flip side, you're accountable for all of them. And leaving the nest is, while partially exciting, is not something that should be taken lightly, in my opinion. So while I was really excited for just living life on my own and enjoying just the college experience and a new team, it's also quite daunting at the same time.
Well, you seem prepared for it by that. You understand that there's always two sides. You're not just excited to get out and on your own and it's going to be awesome the whole time. Yeah, no, you seem like you're ready. Chris?
That ability.
That's right.
I'm looking forward to class variety.
Yes.
Being able to choose what I want to learn. Yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Awesome. Kimmy?
I'm most excited about their great swim program. The coaches have welcomed me so much, and I'm also excited to learn more about the human body and injuries.
Cool. So, and Chris kind of brought it up, but tagging on there, not that you have to have your major, but do you have a major in mind or future plans in terms of careers even, or just topics that you're excited to learn more about and see what path you want to go down if that's where you are? Any of you guys kind of know the plans?
Yes, I do. For me, I'm planning on majoring in finance and then potentially doing a minor in something technology related, maybe information tech. And I kind of, post-graduation, post-college, I sort of envision myself doing either something entrepreneurial in relation to tech or investing in future tech, that sort of stuff.
Very cool. Always thinking of new things. I can see that.
So I don't know what I want to be,
Okay.
but an idea I've had was to major in creative writing and history, because I've always loved reading historical fiction. I like the story aspect of history, not really the factual stuff, but yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah. So you're just going to kind of follow that path and see where you end up to start?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm planning to major in kinesiology and exercise science. I'm planning either to become an athletic trainer for the NFL or NBA or a college sports team. And if that doesn't work out, I'll either just become a chiropractor.
Cool. Sounds like you got the plan going already.
Yep.
So I know you guys have shared a lot of your journey along the way, but do you have a favorite team memory, something that's just fun that you will want to share with everybody that you loved about the team or travel or whatever?
I've got a couple, but
A lot to pick from, I know, but
I'm going to have to go with my very first travel trip with the national group. I think it was 2016. Yes, 2016 Big Ten Stampede in Texas. It's my first travel trip with the national group, just little kid. And it was the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. It was just amazing. And the vibes were off the chart. And I have to quick shout out to Tenny, Ryan, Trenton, and Preston for making that trip so much fun for me.
cool. Awesome.
It was good.
That was a good trip. Yeah, Chris or Kimmy?
So mine would probably be when Coach Jeff stepped into the Boys and Girls Club pool. He was pretty frustrated trying to get us to learn some drill. And then when it happened, everyone's like just mouths dropped. I looked around and I just saw Winston, Jen, staring directly at Coach Jeff like a peacock or something, like pointed forward. It was hilarious. And I don't know, it's all I could focus on for the rest of practice.
That's hilarious. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know if I heard that story before. Kimmy?
My favorite memory was probably when I splashed Hector with my flip turns, and I told Jeff Klotz about it, but he told me to say sorry to Hector, but I was too scared. So, yeah.
That's hilarious. And it's not just Coach Hector, by the way. Anybody who stands behind your lane, you splash, by the way, just in case you weren't aware.
Yeah.
I should warn your college coaches not to stand behind your lane.
My winter mornings were ruined.
Yeah, especially in the morning. Freezing cold up there and get splashed. You got to be paying attention. You kept us on our toes for sure. I know Danny and Kimmy are swimming. Chris, are you swimming as well?
Unsure yet.
Unsure still. Okay, good. Those swimming, are you in contact with your team at this point?
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead, Kimmy. I'll go.
Yeah, Kimmy, what have you been doing? I know some Zoom.
We've been having Zoom meetings like every other Sunday to just keep more info about Bakersfield. Right now, some freshmen were going to move up, but I guess something happened on campus and no one can go on it. I'm not really sure about that.
Gotcha. Okay. Got it. Danny?
As for me, I've been in contact with the team and the coaches quite a bit. For me, or for SC, I guess it's sort of a special situation with new coaching staff coming in, Kip and Coach Megan, who are both coming from Northwestern. There's a bunch of transfers too. I got to talk to the new coaches, and we have lots of group chats with the team, and they're all really cool people. So I've been in contact with them a lot. Very excited to swim with them.
Very exciting. All right. Well, if any of the coaches have any questions, you guys are free to ask some questions. Otherwise, if you want to put them in the chat, we can answer those questions as well. But thank you all for sharing your stories and then sharing your time this morning. I think it's valuable, and I think it's exciting to have these to continue on and to be able to share online, because your stories mean a lot. Your stories, as you guys know, you guys all younger, sitting at Swimathon, listening to these stories and these speeches go, and just thinking about them for years and those connections. And I appreciate all of the time you put into them this year. And this has been a fun environment, actually different for sure, but a fun environment to go on to Zoom and get to just really see you all talk about your stories. And you've all done a phenomenal job. So I thank you for that. So if there's nothing else, that is it. And we'll say adios. We are back in the water, not tomorrow, but we are back in the water Monday with the normal programs. Let's be ready to go. All right. Thank you all. Go Rose Bowl.
Go Rose Bowl.
Bye, Doug.